Welcome back. Well, we have Jeff Parker here to give us all the latest and greatest on our Friday. Well, welcome. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Lisa.
Good morning. Good morning. Well, thanks for being with us.
It's a pleasure, always.
Well, what do you have for us? You have some new stats to talk about.
Yeah, I have quite a few pieces of information to give you. One, we just wanted to, again, address the COVID-19 numbers. Unfortunately, the numbers seem to be increasing. In the 78 new cases in Orange County now, over 1,800 total cases. Again, I think this is related to the testing has gone up, so we're going to hear more. The sad part about that, in the sense that we have one additional case in Laguna Woods, again, in the city of Laguna Woods, not necessarily in the village, so we're now up to 8. But when I said sad point is that we're seeing the highest rates with regards to hospitalization in the county now. So the last 2 days we've had 162 and 158 individuals that are in the hospitals, either in ICU or just in hospitalization. But those have gone up, and I think that again is reflective of the way the curve works. Is the testing comes first, the acknowledgement of the cases comes second, then the need for individuals to get into the hospitalization. And again, the important thing for our community is we are a high-risk community with our age group, and if you have any correlating history of medical issues such as diabetes or heart disease or any of that type of activity, you're at a greater risk with regards to this virus. So again, just remember the mask, remember the social distancing. It's so important. Stay at home. It's going to be warm this weekend. We realize that, and people are going to want to get out. But the more activity and the more engagement there is with people, the more the potential of spreading this virus. So.
Well, exactly. And then I guess to take into consideration, I mean, if you compare those numbers to Los Angeles or New York, so much lower. So obviously we're all doing the right thing, and our numbers certainly are lower than most.
And certainly in the village. Laguna Woods in particular is one of the lowest numbers that you see even in the county of Orange, which is, like you said, is lower than other counties. And so just keep up the good work and keep that social distancing, wearing your mask, and I think we are together working to get through this.
Exactly, exactly. Now you have some new registrations that, well, maybe people who haven't registered their cars, RFIDs, you're still doing that. That process is still going on. Right.
In the past, obviously, with resident services being open here, individuals would come in here, get their car registered, get their RFD put on the car right outside in the back there. Not being open and addressing the social distancing, we have now a process in which individuals, if they have new registration, get their new RFID, can email community access at community.access@vmsinc.org, and that will set up an appointment. So all we ask you to do is take a picture with your phone of your registration, send that in with on that email. We'll set up an appointment, get it all taken care of, and then we'll have security actually go out, verify the registration, and put your RFID on for you. You don't have to move your car. You don't have to get out of your unit.
That's great. I mean, that's a really nice service, so that's perfect. So we've been reading that there is an awful lot of talk about golf courses opening. I think supervisors went ahead, but there's a lot of restrictions, and there's some things that you need to keep in mind. Is that also going to apply for our golf course?
It is. So on Tuesday, the Board of Supervisors approved giving local agencies, i.e. the City of Laguna Woods and us in particular, owning a private golf course, that you could go back and evaluate reopening your golf course with restrictions. Obviously, the focus still on social distancing and how you would require that. How would you keep everything clean, sanitized, all of those. So we're putting together our new rules and regs with regards to that, how you're going to register. We had a different system. Now you're going to have to go online. We're looking at an online system where people can get 7 days in advance, get their tee times registered. Our tee times are going to be a little more separated so that we don't have sometimes what happens is you get a backlog and all of a sudden there's eight people at a tee box instead of 4. We don't want that to occur, so we're going to have to create that social distancing within there. Rules and regulations on using carts, individuals in carts, that type of activity. We will have those rules and regs pretty well put together next week, and we're hoping we're working on our landscaping with regards to getting the golf course ready. So we're really targeting probably the 11th of May as our reopening, which we're very excited about. But there will be a new process, and it won't be the same as usual with regards to how we're going to operate that golf course.
So where will people be able to find that information?
Well, we're going to do it two things. We'll send out a blast, definitely, for sure. Then I'll be back on TV on Monday or Wednesday for sure. If we have that ready to go, we'll provide it there. And then we'll get it out on TV. We'll get it out through a blast. And certainly Tom, who operates our golf course, will have the information at the golf course.
Okay, great. Okay, perfect. So the masks we talked about last time, you guys had collected quite a few, and then I know you've had volunteers helping to distribute them. So what is the latest on your masks?
So the good news is that we had a lot of masks delivered to us. So we've been working on putting those masks together. Those are like the surgical type masks.
Right.
And so the elastics came separate, so we had to put those together. And we did, as you said, got a number of volunteers to help put those together. And then we started distributing those in certain areas in the village that we had volunteers for.
Great.
And also using our security and individuals that had come through the process. So we're very successful in getting about 50% of the masks that we had. We had 20,000 that we were shooting to get out. And so we have about, I would say about 50% of those have been distributed already.
Wow.
So what we're now doing is, because that's a little difficult for the whole village, we're getting the volunteers to help us put together the masks. We'll get them all put together, and then we'll probably do one more kind of mass distribution where we'll ask people to come by one or two clubhouses, again, socially separating each, the group coming in so we aren't not crowded, but we'll probably distribute the masks that way.
You could do a drive-by.
Yeah, that kind of an activity would be exactly what we'd be looking at.
That's great.
And so it's great, and we're hoping to get some more masks in this next week. So if we can do that, we'll continue until we have the word from people that they don't need it anymore. But if you are in search of masks or you do need it, go ahead and call social services, and then they'll coordinate with our communication team on helping get those distributed.
Okay, perfect. Or you could also email the info at lagunawoodsvillage.com. So, okay, good. And one last thing is of safety concern is that, people are opportunists no matter what's going on.
We sent out a communication to our community, and this was promoted by the Orange County Sheriff's Department working with our security. Unfortunately, we had a couple of vehicles that were stolen in our community, and a couple, I believe both of them have been recovered now, which is good news. The individuals, as we went through the investigation, that we found out in both cases, keys were in the car. And so what we are just encouraging people to understand and getting the word out is, please lock your car, take your keys into the home, don't leave them in the car, because there are, like you said, individuals out there. And we have a little bit of concern, and we're upgrading our security, and they did a really good job in trying to locate these vehicles really quick, working with the Sheriff's Department. But the risk is there, and whenever you become vulnerable by leaving your keys in the car, you just make it too easy for that kind of individual to come around and take a car.
I think it's easier nowadays because they have fobs, right? And those little fobs you just stick in the middle, and then you get out of your car and you totally forget. So we have to remember to put them in a pocket or a purse or something, because it's a lot.
It's very easy to forget that.
Yeah, absolutely.
No doubt.
Absolutely. All right, well, wonderful. Well, we're looking forward to more information. I know everybody can't wait to get out there and golf, so we look forward to that info.
One of the things I wanted to mention on that too is we also are looking at what we'll call phase 2 and phase 3 of our whole recreation program. But at this point in time, there are no recommendations by the Orange County Supervisors or Orange County Health for any other activity. So I know I'm going to hear from tennis players and pickleball players and swimmers. When are we going to be able to get out there? At this point in time, we don't have anything from OC Health or the supervisors that indicates that we can open up those facilities at this time. Right.
Well, they're being very careful, so that's a good thing, because we want to be able to roll it out without having any, upticks in any new cases. So.
Exactly.
Well, good. Well, thank you so much. Nice to see you, and have a great weekend.
You too. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. And remember that you could always send an email to info@lagunawoodsvillage.com if you want to know any more about what we've just discussed with Jeff. We'll be right back.